so now I'm going to clean the comb up. So we bent it back a few weeks ago, or longer than that actually, but and so now I'm going to, we bent it kind of in a rough shape, semi-shaped, I guess. It had that shape to it, but it wasn't completely finished, that cross section right there. So what I'm going to do is clean it up, and then there's a bead that goes in it right here and comes all the way around, as you can see on the plans. I cut that bead with a scratch beater. So we'll go to the chair and I'll show you that point, and then we'll get the comb off the form and start finishing it. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be cutting right here, this groove that's painted red, and then I'm going to cut this with a scratch beater, but this you can't really cut with a scratch beater. You might be able to if you bent the comb in the tangential plane, but I like the aesthetics of the radial plane, and so it's a little tougher to cut up through there. So I'll show you how I cut that. But anyway, the comb, the chair here, and so right here is the comb. It's dry. To dry it, I had this in the kiln, but a week or two just in the shop, and then in the kiln for 2 or 3 days at 150 will set it. If you don't have that, just leave it out. Put it near a heat source if you can. If it's in the wintertime, you got a wood stove or something, that would be great also. And if you can dry it hard enough, you don't get any spring back, hardly at all. So you can see right there that is almost exactly like the form. It's sprung back a little. Sometimes if I dry it good enough, it won't spring back any at all. Okay, so there it is. I'll take this to the shaving horse and start cleaning it up, and then we'll cut the bead in. Alright, so over here at the shaving horse, and I'll clean up the back first with the spokeshave. You might notice the way I have this spokeshave skewed, and that's to diminish chatter. And you might have to scrape it. I prefer not to scrape it if I can get by with just a spokeshave finish. But sometimes I might have to scrape a little something. Okay, so I got that. Now I have to get these ears, the back of the ears. I reckon maybe that'll work. Yeah, that'll work right there. A little tear or dent or something right there. And if you catch this in some raking light, you'll be able to see if there's any. I got a little bit this morning. You could put a lamp right there. And you'll really be able to see if you've got tool marks that you don't want. And there's a little tear right there. Let me get that. Okay. Now I get to the front here. I believe I can lower that a little bit. The closer you have that to the piece, the head, the tighter the grip. And here's the so this curve, the inside of the curve, I usually can't get a good spokeshave finish. This one's radius, the spokeshave's radius front to back, and I can get it in there, but because of the bend, there's compression that's right in on this side, and you end up like you're trying to cut curly wood. It runs right like this. Most of the time I can't get a clean cut, clean enough for a finish cut on it. I have been able to before, but I'm going to leave this topped with a flat on it, because when I put the chair together, I bang on that. And so after the chair's all glued up, then I'll come back up with the spokeshave and finish that top. Okay, so I think I'm ready for the, well, I'll probably scrape a little bit right in there, and then I'll do the scratch bead. Because that's, you got two things going on in this plane that makes it hard to spokeshave. One of them, it's hard to spokeshave the radial plane. You've got the ray flex, the medullary rays there, that are difficult to cut. And then you've got the compression from the bend. catch that in some light. Yeah, I believe it's good. Okay, so I've got this scratch beater set up, and it's just a V to kind of mimic the V that's in the turnings of the chair. And you just make these cutters just out of tool steel, and you don't need a fancy Stanley 66 like this. You just need a block of wood to put it in. It's all. Just had somebody give me this, or I'd still be using my block of wood. So here you just have to watch it. There's a point. Why my pencil around? Nope. And if you look on the plans, you'll see it. I like an abrupt change right there. So I like for it to go from running straight to starting this curve, and there's like a little corner that's right here. And then I like to mirror that right down here. Okay, that looks good. And now I'll just round this. Spokeshave. And you end up with a nice bead down below, real pretty. Okay. Now I have to take it over to the bench to carve this. So if you do chip carving, I'm sure you could just take your chip carving knife and do that in probably a matter of seconds. But the chip carving I've tried is not too acceptable, so I'll just do it the way I know how, which is with a carving gouge. And so I'll set up my riser block over here and do it with the carving gouge. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I have my gouge that fits the sweep on the gouge, fits the sweep on this, or at least good enough. I mean, it's never going to fit perfect. You just kind of make it work. And what I've got, the brand here is File. It says Swiss made on the handle, and it's a number 5 sweep. Now the size this way matters too, and this is before they started putting that size on there, so it's about 5/8. They put it in millimeters, but I don't know millimeters, so it's a 5. And so I'm just going to put it just straight up. Now, that one doesn't fit right there. Fits over here. I thought I made that a half of a circle there, part of a circle, but I flatten out as they come down through here. I'll fix it. Anyway, so I'm going to put it straight up, right like that, and strike it all the way around. Then I'll come back and carve it out. That fits pretty good. So. get up here, you've got to be a little more careful with your taps because you could split. Could split the whole top of that right off. Don't do that. Okay, so I've scored that, and what I'm going to take it out with is this number 3 sweep, and maybe it'll work good right here where that other one was a little too tight. This is a little flatter. Okay, I think that'll work. And so now I'll come in and just, so I've got 2 other lines drawn here. So I had the center line drawn, and then the V groove here is 1/8 of an inch wide, and so I came, what I estimated just by eye, 1/16 of an inch off of it on either side. And now I'll come up to that line and take it out. Now this gouge is ground different. It's ground right like that because I use it for something else on a regular basis that needs to be ground like that. So I'll have to rock it a little bit to make it work, but it'll be fine. So you can see what's coming out of it there. That's looking good. Well, maybe I can come in like that. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, oh yeah, that looks great. Now I'll flip it over. So the sweep was this way on that one, and now I'm on the other side, and the sweep is this way. And let's see. Nice. So maybe you can get a close-up right here. I don't know how well you can see what's happening there, but it's a pretty easy operation, and it looks pretty good. Okay, now that's all done, and now I've got to connect these two. And as I said earlier, I like to maintain that kind of corner right there. And so my scratch stock, where I was scratching that V groove in, didn't come quite all the way because I didn't know exactly where that point would be. And so I'll finish that off just with a straight chisel. I just need to get the straight chisel. Okay, so about anything will do. Back to the gouge here to just connect those 2 points. Okay, that looks good. I'll take it off and show it to you here. So right there you can see the only thing that needs to be done now is just rounding over that edge right there to match that. And then I've got something to define that red groove in right there. So, okay, finished with that. We're going to the next